Somewhere along the way when I was much younger, I was told very clearly, pick one path, follow it, get really good at it, because that's what successful people do. I don't know. That's what I was told. And honestly, that's what I did for such a long time. Only until a few years ago did I stop and think, maybe I don't have to just go through this door. I can try other things, see how they fit, see what I'm interested in. And I started doing that. So here's every step I've taken along the way while building the Open Day Collective. I genuinely don't think any of them were a waste of time. Financially, maybe not the best decisions, but I've learned something through each of them. I'll start with the actual door I chose. I chose to become a lawyer, and I genuinely enjoy it. I do cybersecurity, AI, and privacy. I find the puzzle so exciting to figure out how to build things in compliance, how to make sure that what we build stands up to scrutiny and negotiations. I find that part genuinely fun. But I learned while building this, doing this within my 9-to-5 isn't something that's actually mine. I can follow the rule book while doing this, but also write my own on the side to see what else it is that's out there for me. The next step I took was I started day trading. I did well, and it wasn't really about the money. For me, it was about the fantasy of the fast exit from the current structure I was in. But what I learned from this, I do not have the temperament to stare at a screen with red lines and stay calm. I have more of the temperament where I'll check the fridge multiple times, hoping new food shows up. I realized day trading was not for me. The next phase I went through was planning an online bookstore. This one I took very seriously, to the point where I still ultimately would like to do it, start as the online bookstore, and potentially own a storefront. So this one's not theoretically closed, it's just paused. Probably like how I should be responding to some of my group chats, everything's just paused. I will get back to those though. And the real reason I felt so passionate about the bookstore is because I do believe that books and people who care about them deserve to get intentional picks and curations, and not something that's built for mass volume and speed. It's something to enjoy and to sit with and to learn from. I'll definitely get back to that one. Following that, I fell hard into journaling, because journaling is something I've truly done my entire life, from when I was a kid, even up through now. But when I took this turn, I got very serious into buying the right journals. If I had a journal that was extremely nice or what I thought was beautiful, I couldn't really write in it. So naturally, I would buy a second one that I can write in. I told you there were some financial questionable moves here. I've moved past that. I'll get there. And then very closely to the journaling, I have an excessive fountain pen collection. It's a lot. I do love it, and the inks are beautiful. But back to the phases I've been doing. This one was a smaller phase on the outside, but actually was probably one of the largest things on the inside that really started to shift what I was doing, because on top of buying the journals and the pens, I was actually using them to write out my days and become more intentional. And this is where I really started to realize I don't just have to survive my days. I can protect parts of it and feel like I'm owning more of them. So I did learn a lot with very pretty pens. And all of that really landed here with the Open Day Collective. And it's not just stationery. Looking back, I have learned something from every phase along the way. I have the precision from the contracts, the risk tolerance from the day trading, minus the staring at a screen, hoping things are going to turn out, the care over speed belief from the bookstore, and the daily intentional practice from the journaling. All of these have led me into building out the Open Day Collective into what it is today. So I honestly believe that not one of these paths failed. They all built on top of each other on purpose and led me, even without realizing it, into building something that uses all of those experiences into something that I know is helpful. And one of the biggest upfront lessons that I've learned really has structured why I build the Open Day Collective in phases, and not just having one big launch of everything that I'd like. Where I started with the physical, and the physical's funneling into the digital will go into the community, and the community will build into something greater. And while I do have a vision on where I see Open Day Collective going, I have lived enough lives to learn that going all in all at once makes it so much more difficult to really focus on each phase and get those lessons to build upon the next one. And that's all I'm hoping to do here, because I'm already learning a lot as I'm still in phase 1. So if you're in one of those in-between phases where you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you keep circling back to something else, that's not a detour. That's information for you to see on what you'd like to focus on. The workbook's in the shop to help you be more intentional with your days. It's not a 5-year plan, but it just helps you see where your time's going. Is it going there on purpose, or are you just letting the day take over? That's a start in seeing where you want to put your intention. If any of these phases you're in, tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. If you're new here, hit subscribe. And if this landed in any way, understanding the phases and learning from each one, hit the like. It'll help more people find this video also. You can find me everywhere at Open Day Collective. I also send weekly newsletters that go deeper into what I'm learning and how I'm being more intentional in everything I'm building. The links will be below to both the newsletter and the shop. I'll see you on the next episode.